Hey, y'all, let me tell you about the time my grandpa, Tom Grayson, took on a whole neighborhood and won against odds that'd make most folks run for the hills. Picture this, a quiet, 73-year-old widower, just trying to fix up his little cabin by Clearwater Lake, suddenly getting screamed at by Linda Harper, the HOA queen bee, her finger jabbing the air like she's auditioning for a villain role, yelling, "Old-timers like you belong in a home, not messing up our pristine community." The whole HOA board's nodding along, thinking they've got him cornered. But then a young security guard spots this faded old pin on Tom's jacket and freezes, like he's seen a ghost. From that moment, nobody in Shady Pines dared mess with him again. And let me tell you, they had no idea who they were picking a fight with. Let's rewind a bit, about 4 months back, when this whole mess kicked off. Tom, a retired engineer, bought this cozy little cabin just outside the Shady Pines HOA limits 200 yards beyond their reach, according to every property map in the county. He'd lost my grandma, Ellen, after 48 years together, and that cabin was his sanctuary, a place to heal, with a killer view of the lake and no nosy HOA rules to ruin his peace. He poured his heart into fixing it up, new windows that caught the sunrise just right, a porch he built with cedar he picked out himself, a dock so sturdy it'd outlast us all. Every morning, he'd stand out there with his coffee, sketching the lake like it was his therapy. But then Linda showed up, rolling in with her shiny Lexus and 2 HOA goons, all smiles at first, like she's just a concerned neighbor. "We're just trying to keep Shady Pines classy, protect property values," she says, but her eyes are cold as ice. Tom, polite as ever, tells her his cabin's outside their jurisdiction, built to code, and he's not changing a thing. That's when her mask slips, her voice gets sharp, and she snaps, "Community standards don't care about your property lines, old man." Next day, there's a bright orange violation sign nailed to his gate, like she owns the place. It didn't stop there. Linda unleashed a full-on war, $7,000 in fake fines, threatening letters from some shady law firm called Hart & Sons, even a hit piece in the local paper calling Tom a recluse wrecking our community. She hired Apex Security, these guys in black SUVs with fake HOA patrol stickers, watching his place like he's a criminal. They even tried to get his power and water cut off with made-up safety violations. Through it all, Tom stayed calm, but I started noticing things, how he'd stand ramrod straight under pressure, like he's back in some old drill. He kept this locked steel box in his study, and sometimes he'd open it, stare at whatever was inside, then lock it up tight. Our neighbor, Ray Carter, a grizzled Vietnam vet, kept eyeing Tom like he was trying to place him, muttering, "Something about that guy feels familiar." And when things got heated, Tom's hand would drift to his chest, like he was reaching for something that wasn't there anymore. The breaking point came at a packed community meeting in the Shady Pines Rec Center, 200 folks crammed in, buzzing like an angry hive. Linda's up there with a PowerPoint, drone shots of Tom's cabin angled to look like a junkyard, preaching about how he's tanking their property values. She points at him, alone in the third row, and sneers, "People like him should be in nursing homes, not dragging us down with him." The crowd eats it up, laughing, filming, shouting stuff like, "Get with the program, Grandpa." Tom just sits there, cool as a cucumber, and says, "My property's legal, built to code, and I'm staying put." But the mob's too riled up to listen. Then Ray stands up, his voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "I know Tom Grayson," he says. "He pulled my squad out of a kill zone in Nam, saved 150 guys under fire nobody else could have handled." The room goes dead quiet. Linda's face twists, but she doubles down, spitting, "That's ancient history, rules are rules." Next morning, Linda's security goons are back, blockading Tom's driveway, but something's different. The police chief, Mike Dawson, shows up after Linda called in a disturbance. Tom steps out, holding this old ID card, and Mike's jaw drops. "General Grayson, sir," he says, snapping to attention. "I served under you in Iraq." Turns out, Tom wasn't just some engineer, was Lieutenant General Thomas Grayson, 3-star hero, and his cabin, built on federal land tied to an old military base, untouchable by the HOA. Mike turns to Linda, voice low, "Ma'am, you're messing with a decorated veteran on federal property. This could land you in federal court." Half the crowd starts apologizing to Tom right there, while Linda's still yelling about community standards. That's when things got wild. Tom's lawyer, Sarah Coleman, a pit bull who eats HOA boards for breakfast, slaps Linda and the HOA with a lawsuit harassment, trespassing, defamation, the works, demanding $100,000. Sarah digs deeper and finds Linda's tied to a shady developer, Crestwood Holdings, run by a guy named Victor Slade. They're after Clearwater Lake for a massive lithium mining deal, $4 billion in deposits under the water. Tom's cabin, untouchable by their legal tricks, was the one thing stopping their plan to bulldoze the whole area. Linda wasn't just a control freak. She was a pawn in a corporate game to displace 300 families. The fight got ugly fast. Anonymous threats started hitting Tom's mailbox. Leave, or you won't make it to next week. The IRS gets a tip, probably from Linda's buddy, Councilman Greg Turner, claiming Tom's dodging taxes. The local paper runs another smear, calling him a deranged vet terrorizing Shady Pines. But Tom, he's not just sitting there. He's been working with the FBI, feeding them evidence on Crestwood's nationwide land scams. Ray rallies every vet within 100 miles, and soon, 80 guys who've seen real combat are camped out around Tom's place, ready to defend it. Linda tries one last move, a community vote to evict Tom, banking on mob anger. But Sarah crashes the meeting with a bombshell. This isn't about a cabin, she says, holding up documents. Crestwood's been fleecing communities for years, and Clearwater's their biggest prize, yet a lithium jackpot they'll destroy this lake to get. The crowd's stunned. Linda breaks, sobbing. I thought I was protecting us. They lied to me. Then it gets insane. Crestwood sends a hit squad, 6 guys led by some ex-merc named Dmitry Volkov, hired to take Tom out. But Tom's ready. He turns Shady Pines into a fortress, with vets manning every corner, local cops backing them up, and Sarah coordinating with the FBI. Tom gets on the town's PA system, voice calm but deadly. Mr. Volkov, you're surrounded by 200 vets who've faced worse than you. We know your moves, your ops in Miami, Kiev, you name it. Stand down, or you're done. The whole thing's on live TV, and when Colonel Lisa Bennett rolls in with 60 active duty troops from a nearby base, Volkov's team surrenders without a shot. The FBI swoops in, arrests Slade, seizes $600 million in dirty assets, and shuts down Crestwood for good. A year later, Shady Pines is a different place. Property values are up 70%, not from greed, but because people want to live where folks stood up to corruption. Tom's cabin's a historic site now, drawing visitors who want to see where one guy sparked a movement. Linda's changed to studying law, leading a new community council, trying to make things right. Tom started the Grayson Defense Fund, helping towns across the country fight corporate scams, saving 50 communities already. But he's still getting calls. Last week, it was Montana, some oil company bullying ranchers. Tom just grabs his old duffel bag, smiles, and says, "No town gets left behind on my watch." This hit me hard, y'all. Ever feel like the little guys got no shot against the big dogs? Tom proved one person with guts and a plan can flip the script. Drop a comment, tell me about a time you stood up to a bully or when you saw justice win. Hit that like button if Tom's story fired you up, and subscribe for more tales of regular folks taking down giants. This is Clearwater Stories, and we're just getting started.